Thank you, Gino. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to somebody that has been a recipient of this crisis fund that's part of our family, part of my family. It's Cindy Reddish. She was, yay. Sorry if I get emotional, but she was in a very bad accident, and we wish her the best, and we love her, and we did this clinic last year together, and so the Crisis Fund is really coming in a very important time in her life. So we are so thrilled to try to raise some money for a person like Cindy or anybody that's in need that's a part of our group, our inner circle of professional horsemen, and also to continue our educational funds. So thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit of not quite the pattern right away, just because I want just a healthy reminder to all of our exhibitors. I was sitting watching the Huntsy deck today, and one of the things that I noticed the most was the one thing that you can control, which is polished boots, clean tack, clean horse, well presented. You're being judged on your overall appearance. And so I really want you to think about what can you do with the things that you can control, like polishing your boots or cleaning your tack or making sure your horse looks great, or even a clean pad. Those are the things that are really important to a judge like me, because that really speaks volumes when you step into my ring and I'm judging you. I feel like that's a great first impression. So just keep that in mind tonight. Plus there's like great shoe shine people here. So I thought what we would do is talk about the course and the options that this course gives you, and then kind of develop a plan with Virginia, and we're going to show the options as they come up on course, and then at the end we're going to put it all together, and then she's going to decide with how it goes as to which one she's going to choose, depending on which lead her horse lands best on. She might do an inside turn in one area, she might go around in another. So she's going to kind of school this course. We're going to practice both approaches. There's several areas where you can do two different approaches, and then she's going to decide at the end what approaches she'll use. So when you come into the ring, I love the fact that the first jump is on the quarter line, coming home off the right lead. It's such a great way to start your youth world. So when you come into the ring, you can do several things. You can post the trot in, you can come up the side and come across the middle of the ring and then track right if your horse needs to see the ring or you need a little extra time to get your nerves in check. If you're a person that's maybe a little bit anxious and your horse gets a little anxious, it's also okay to walk in the ring and pick up your canter. You know, whatever you do the best is what you're telling the judge. So either way is fine. You could do a sitting trot in. If you do a beautiful sitting trot in, go ahead and do a sitting trot in, do a nice canter transition, or even a walk to canter transition would be pretty. But just, you know, take your time and make a plan and do whatever you do best, for sure. So the first jump is off the right lead coming home on the quarter line, and there's two approaches. There's, as you can see, a little standard island on the end, and you can choose to take the inside track to the first jump, so the island would be on your left, or you can go around the island and just kind of shave around it, or you can go all the way to the end of the ring. And again, it's what you do best. If you feel like you need a little more time to jump one and you need a little time to get your horse used to the ring, then I suggest to go all the way to the end of the ring. If you have a really handy horse and you're feeling pretty comfortable starting off the first jump off a little bit of a tighter turn, absolutely you can show both. Is the inside turn is more credit earning, for sure, because it's more handy, but if you don't do it well, then your credit won't work. So you have to really be pretty sure and work with your trainer on what you think would be the best approach. So why don't you go ahead and do a round and then come around and do the inside track. Good. I like the fact that she took her time, did a nice post and trot, a really pretty transition. She's, taking the time to organize her canter, really line up the middle of the first jump. Again, this is your first impression to the judge, and you want to look nice and confident up to the first jump. Really good. Good. And then she's going to come around, and she's going to go ahead and do the inside turn, the more credit-earning turn. So if you feel like you can pull off the inside turn smoothly, confidently, I say go for it. But if you feel like you need a little extra time, it's the first jump and you're a little nervous, then go around. It's as long as you do it well, that's what matters. Very good. Excellent. So that's jump 1. So jump 2 to 3 is a bending line. And there's really no related distance, and what I mean by that is there's no specific footage from middle to middle. So it's really up to you to decide how many strides you want to put in here. Maybe there's a number, an 8 or a 9 or a 10, I don't really know. It really depends on your horse. What I'm looking for as a judge is a couple things. I'm looking for the nice track work. So cutting the turn and doing a little quickie rollback, that really doesn't appeal to me personally as a judge. I like to see a person who goes deep in the turn and really lines this up straight, because this is probably going to be going straight at the judges. So they're really going to be able to see you head on. And so if you jump this at anything other than straight, it's really going to tell on you. So you want to be able to find the track out of the turn, and I feel like it's maybe lined up between the classic equine and the adequine. Obviously, we won't be in this building. We'll be over there. So when you school or you walk the course, find a place on the wall that you can go to give you like a healthy reminder of where you're going to turn. Because sometimes you get a little nervous, and then you turn quickly, and then everything kind of unravels. So I think it's important to give yourself a little place on the wall. And then that lines you up to jump this straight, and then just ride a nice smooth track and get right to the middle of the oxer. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So 4 to 5 is a optional several turns that you can use depending on if you do them well. Like if you're really comfortable with the inside turn after jump 4, which is this vertical coming home, you can take the inside track off the right lead. It's obviously more credit earning. The degree of difficulty is higher. It's very handy. And you have to make sure that you kind of keep a nice forward pace through a tight turn to an oxer. So this is the tougher track. If for some reason your horse isn't very handy, there's another option. There's an option right through here. Right through here. So you can go on your right lead, and if you're not really comfortable going through 2 jumps, there's another option. It's maybe not as pretty because you'd actually have to kind of pull them out, and you can come through here. I personally don't think that's as pretty because you're kind of pulling them off the track to put them back on the track. I like things to connect a little better. So if this is an option for you because maybe turning on your right lead is not easy, that's fine. But I think this track is very, very pretty. It really sets up the oxer, or you can do the inside track. So Virginia's going to show both ways. So for me, I always ask myself, what is the test? When I'm judging, I'm like, okay, the test for me is to see my riders that utilize their space the best, that keep their horses bent and connected through the turn, that they keep their pace consistent and the same. I can tell a rider's weakness through a rollback, because if they're stronger on one side versus the other, they tend to tip or lean, or their horse twists. Good, so she took the time, her horse landed left, she took the time to do the lead change, and then did a nice rollback. Yeah, really good. So that's a nice turn. That was really smart on her part, because sometimes, you know, you have to get if they land left, you got to get the lead change before you make the turn. It's very hard to bank off a turn there. So you want to, she'll probably, now that she knows her horse is probably going to land left, it's going to be a little bit trickier with the inside turn. So maybe in the long run, this might not be her choice, but we're going to just try it. Jumping it as straight as possible, really sitting up and looking, doing a nice lead change, keeping the pace consistent through the turn, and then setting up the oxer. Beautiful. Yeah, so good. So it was balanced, it was shaped, it was connected, it didn't lose power or energy. She met the oxer beautifully. If she would have had a little bit of a tougher time with the inside track, you would have seen it where the oxer would have gotten a little weak, but she did a great job. So for me, judging her, I'd be like, oh wow, she really has a great understanding of her horse, how to ask for the lead, how to sit up, how to keep her outside leg, very effective rider. So this inside turn does tell me a lot about this rider. This turn is very, very pretty and very doable, for sure. Very smooth. Okay, so there's another option down here. After the oxer, jump 5, you could choose to stay on the inside of the island, and that's why the island has placement there. There's a reason why the island is here, is to kind of show the judge how comfortable you are with an inside track. So you can look and just come through here and stay on this side of the island to get back to the oxer. Or if you need more time, or you need a lead change, or this is just not comfortable for you, this is more credit earning, but going around is fine. It makes it smooth. It's still very, very doable. It's very pretty. If you need the whole ring, that's okay too. You know, you have to kind of know what you do best. So why don't we go ahead and just catch the birch, and then let's do the round to the oxer, and then we'll do the inside turn. Good, so I'm just looking for her eye, like she's gonna look through the turn. Good, and get the lead, yep. Good, and then she took the time to get her lead, and then the nice wide track, a nice even rhythm, and it was very pretty. Very good, excellent, really good. So let's show the inside turn. And what I really liked about Virginia there was that she's telling me exactly what her plan is. You know, that's my favorite thing when somebody's on course and I'm judging. I love to have their kind of plan unfold, and I can see it happening before they've even done it, just by the way that they look a little, like she's gonna look a little to the right. Yes, and she's gonna get the lead, good. And then she's gonna gently slide inside of the island. Very good, yeah, so that was really pretty, right? She didn't, whip around to the oxer. She landed, she got her lead, she was balanced, he was shaped to the right, it was connected, and it had a lot of rhythm. That was super good. There's a lot of options on this course, so, I would say go over it with your trainer, see what's comfortable for you. It's a preliminary, it's not a final, so maybe you be a little bit more tentative. Some people want to go inside. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So the last part of this course is the outside stone wall going away. So after the oxer, you have to kind of make sure that they don't think that they're done. And then you can shave off some of the end of the ring. You can use the whole ring. And you're going to jump the stone. And then you could do an inside track, which I feel is a little tight. but you can certainly do it. Or you can go inside of this jump right here and jump this oxer. You have to be pretty darn slick with your track work here, but it's totally doable. Or you can land and go around, and this is quite lovely as well. So let's go ahead and show this option. So this horse has kind of shown us that he lands left, so this should be a little bit of a easier rollback for her. Really good. She's just going wide and balanced, and her pace is staying the same. Beautiful. Really good. Super. Good. And let's go ahead and show them the inside track. So there's lots of really fun options, and I think you'll tell the judge a lot about your horse by what option, or your ability by what options you choose, or how well you know your horse. Like this horse, I maybe would do a little tighter turn off the left lead because he lands left. Off the right lead, I might be a little more conservative. Super. She's just gonna, and then there you go. It's pretty tricky, but it's doable. Very good. Excellent. That's a tougher turn, right? Super. Okay, so it's single on the right lead, option inside or outside the island. Then we're gonna set up the bending line middle to middle. There's no related distance. Then we're gonna do the in of this line with a rollback to the oxer, going outside or inside this oxer or around, whatever is comfortable. Then you can go inside or around the island to the single oxer. And then you're gonna finish up with the stone wall outside or inside track, or you can even go around that oxer if you want. It really just depends on what your comfort level is. So for Virginia, what do you think after schooling that, where do you think you wanna go with your track? So the inside turn off the front to the birch, yep. Yep.
Keeping it a little compact will
Yep.
help me turn there and not get too strong through my lead change after that oxer.
Yep. So she's gonna go inside to the birch and still stay inside of the island.
And then I'm gonna
Go around, yeah, because that's a little tight, you know. It's doable, but it's tight. Yeah. And how are you gonna get to the first jump? So she's gonna come off the inside track to the first jump. So.
focus going in between the jumps tomorrow.
Yep. Yep. So she has a great plan. So she's gonna go inside to the first jump. She's gonna set this up middle to middle. She's gonna do an inside track to set up the birch to the inside to the oxer. And then she's gonna take a breath and go around this jump to the last oxer to finish up nice. All right, you ready? So again, your entrance just depends on your comfort level. Some people like to just canter right off. Some people like to sit the trot. Some people like to post a trot. She did such a great job. Right away, she's telling me so much because her horse got a little impatient. And the fact that she just sat the trot so quietly and didn't let him pick up the wrong lead and then picked up the correct lead, I thought was fantastic. That tells me she's super smart. Good, so she's really nice inside turn. Good, she did a good job when she didn't get the lead to ask again. She's gonna go deep in the turn. And then she's gonna look left. We didn't practice that one. Really good, good recovery. Now she's going to do the inside turn. Nice. Good lead change. She's looking for the inside turn here. Beautiful. Super. just smooth, so she's being very, very clear to her horse what the track is, and clear to me as a judge. Good, nice bold oxer, and then she has a good recovery on the backside to kind of get to the last roll back. Good. I like the fact that she took her time there and didn't get rushed, because sometimes at the end of the course we get a little bit quick. Beautiful. Very good. Excellent. And then she's going to finish up with a nice lead change. Super. Super. Good job. What I love about options like this, the inside option or the outside option, is you can always have a plan B. You might have a plan A and maybe something goes awry, like, you know, she had that little funny jump there and she had to kind of regroup. Maybe you're planning an inside turn here, and maybe this jump isn't as ideal as you'd like, or maybe your horse is a little strong on the backside. You can always choose plan B. You don't have to, just because you laid out a plan doesn't mean that that is written in stone. And that's what I like. I think it's fun to watch riders, when they have a little adversity, kind of recover and rebound, right? Yeah, it's all right. I would go a little deeper. Yeah, go change that track a little bit. So for me, she turned a little early and her horse was a little crooked and he didn't read the jump. And that's a little why he greened up a little bit on her. I would go deeper. This to me is a big test. It's early in the course. It's away from the gate. It's a test of track. So start to look at it, but don't turn to it. Good. Now just line it up a little straight. There. Now the horse can read it. Beautiful. And then it's a different ride. So that's how important track is. You know, if you don't set them up for the best possible track, you know, she really, really let her know. I mean, obviously it was the second time she jumped that jump, but the track before was a little early and a little crooked, and he's looking at all these jumps. He has no clue where he's going. Where there, she took her time, and I think this is a part in the course where you can take a little time to really line this up, because you are going right towards the judges and they're seeing you head on, and it's really, really a cool track to get that straight. That was super. Super. Yeah, so like in a bending line, if you land on your right lead there's two things you can do. You can hold the counter canter. You can hold your right lead canter, or you can do a lead change. The biggest thing is the placement of the lead change. So I can't do a lead change one stride in front of that jump. I want to show that as soon as my direction changes from right to left, that I do it at the appropriate place. So I would say like anywhere around here is very, very appropriate for a lead change. I would say if you're going past here and you're straight and then you lead change, it's getting a little late. And then when it's done like right here, for me that's a swap off, because it's right before the jump and they're just shifting they're off balance basically is what it's telling me. So it's okay if they land right and you do a right to left lead change, or if you want to just hold the counter canter, that's fine too. Both of it shows, the ability to read your horse in a bending line. So, any questions? Okay, we're gonna did you guys pass the bucket? All right, super, thank you. Thank you. Well, if you have any questions, just grab me, but thanks for coming.